Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Unparalleled Universe for another action figure review, and today we're taking a look at the brand new Marvel Legends Far From Home Spider-Man figure. And I apologize that I don't have a good shot of the box, but I picked this up from Walgreens yesterday and the box was pretty much destroyed, so I figured there was no sense in keeping it, so I ripped the figure out, threw the box away, and here we are. And it's kind of strange because a lot of people say that they've been finding the Spider-Man Far From Home figures in Walgreens with destroyed boxes, so who knows what's up with that. Maybe someone's taking a bat to all the Far From Home Marvel Legends figures trying to destroy that doppelganger. We'll never know. But anyways, here we are. Let's get into it. So my first impression of this figure is that it's a little underwhelming because there's really not too much going on with it. It's a little plain. He doesn't come with a lot of accessories, and he kind of comes across like a kid's toy more so than a Marvel Legends figure. And the main reason for that is that they really didn't do much work when it comes to the paint. They went all out with the sculpt. The sculpting work is really nice on this guy, but it's kind of like nullified because it doesn't have the awesome paint work to match the sculpt. So I really wish they did some more paint with it, but let's take a look here. I like all the sculpted web lines in there. They look very nice, but they're hard to see because of the lack of paint. I like the way that they sculpted the spider logo, and I like how they have a little bit of white on the side of it, so it kind of pops from certain angles. It looks really cool. And then you have some more sculpted work all in here. And one thing I really like about this figure is that in the black areas, they kind of have like a grid effect, or like a, I don't know if I want to say circuitry effect, but they have some kind of effect on the black area that looks really nice. It's very faint, but it looks very cool in person. It makes it so the figure just doesn't look solid black or anything like that. So that's very nice. And I do have a couple little paint flaws. You can see right there, there's a little bit of red on the black. On the back, same thing. I have a little bit of red bleeding through the black in there. And I like the way the spider logo looks too on the back. And I like that it's white and it kind of is a nice contrast to the black in there. So that is very cool. And I feel like this is the first time that I've had a really good look at the Far From Home spider suit. I have seen the trailers and things like that, but when he's swinging around, fighting Mysterio, doing his thing, it's hard to get a good look at it, so I'm happy to have this in hand so I could check it out. Down here at the legs, you have some sculpting work that looks good too, more sculpted web lines that should be painted in. And I might have to hit this dude with the wash just to see what it looks like, because I really feel like it would benefit from being able to see these web lines. I think that would look awesome. But yeah, it's a really good looking figure. Like I said, not much to it, but I do like this figure a lot more than I thought I would. I wasn't really interested in it. I figured I'd wait for one of the Figure Arts ones or the Mayfix one eventually when they come out with one. But I saw this in stores and thought it looked cool, so I grabbed it. And I'm happy that I did. I'm enjoying the figure a lot more than I thought I would. And for accessories, he doesn't come with very much. All he has is a set of gripping hands and then a set of thwip hands. And I do wish that he had some fist or some wall crawling hands, but just these two sets is all we get. And for some quick size comparisons, here's the new Spider-Man next to the Marvel Legends Infinity War Iron Spider and the Marvel Legends Homecoming Spider-Man. And I like the build a lot better on this Spider-Man over the Homecoming version. I always thought the Homecoming version looked a little too muscular, and that's not the case with the Far From Home version. This version looks a lot more slender and more accurate to Tom Holland, so I do like that a lot. Then next up, here's Spider-Man alongside the SH Figure Arts Age of Ultron Captain America and the Marvel Legends Infinity War Captain America. And now here we have him with the Marvel Legends Pizza Spider-Man and Marvel Legends Bucky Cap. And then now here we have him with the Mayfix Homecoming Spider-Man and the Marvel Legends Homemade Suit Spider-Man. Next up, we have him alongside the Marvel Legends Ronin and the Marvel Legends Civil War Iron Man. And now here we have him alongside the Marvel Select Groot and the Marvel Legends Cold Obsidian Wave Ant-Man. And now here we have him with the Lightning Collection White Ranger and the Black Series Boba Fett. And the articulation on this figure is pretty decent, but there's nothing mind-blowing or innovative or anything like that. It's basically the same articulation that we've seen on all the other Hasbro Marvel Legends Spider-Man movie figures. And it's not bad at all, but it definitely could be better. And you would think with some of the advancements that they've made with the Hasbro Power Rangers articulation setup, that you would think that they'd kind of apply that to their Spider-Man figures, because it's kind of a sad day when Lord Zed has more articulation than Spider-Man. Kind of crazy. But anyways, let's get into it here. His head is able to move side to side. It is on a ball joint, so you have a little bit of tilt to it, but not very much. Kind of sits low, so you're not going to get too much tilt out of it. And he can look up to right there. He could look down to right there. And then for his torso, he does have an ab crunch that goes forward to right there. Could come back to right there. And how cool would it be if he had that mid torso cut like the Power Rangers figures? That would be awesome, but nope, not yet. Hopefully in the future. For now, all we have is the waist swivel and the crunch. And for his arms, he does have butterfly shoulders, so that's really good. They could go back that far, come forward that far. So those are pretty good. And then you have the ball jointed shoulders that do go all the way around. He does have the upper bicep swivel, and then he does have the double jointed elbows that get pretty nice range. Let's see here, there we go. They get some pretty decent range. And then you have a swivel at the wrist and a hinge at the wrist. For his legs, they come pretty much all the way out to the side, so that's pretty good. They could come forward to like right there. Could get some nice kick action going. Go back to only about right there, but then they kind of flare out to the side. Then you have the upper thigh swivel, which is pretty good. Double jointed knees. Then there is no lower leg swivel at all, but his feet can go forward to right there. They could come up to right there, and then you have the awesome rocking ankles. But I do wish there was some kind of lower leg swivel. I know that breaks up the sculpt and everything, but it'd be nice if they could hide it in here somewhere. Or if they made their ankle joints where it was the style that had like the ball and the peg, and you got your swivel from the ball. That would be awesome. But for now, this is what we're working with. So yeah, he does have a decent amount of articulation, but it could be better. Hopefully they kind of get adventurous with the articulation with Spider-Man figures pretty soon. I could definitely see it happen. Hasbro seems to listen to fans. But sometimes it takes a while, but they eventually do, so we'll see. Okay, so overall, I like this figure. Yes, he's a little plain. Yes, he doesn't come with very many accessories, and he's not the most exciting thing ever, but I'm enjoying it, so I'm happy with what I have here. And it'll hold me over until a better company comes along and makes a better Spider-Man figure, which is inevitable, you know. I'm sure Figure Arts will make... Well, Figure Arts already announced theirs, so that'll be cool. I'm sure Mafex will make one. I don't think they've announced theirs yet, but I'm sure when they do, it'll look awesome, and it'd be cool to see if Mezco does one too. And I'm sure Diamond Select will do it. Everybody will do it, just like every version of Spider-Man, and I'm okay with that. But I'm a little surprised that Hasbro doesn't go all out when it comes to their Spider-Man figures. Every time they release a Spider-Man figure, it's always missing a little something or has to be revisited somehow, and I'm sure it's so they could sell more, but I don't know, it just seems a little lazy or something. Like when they first released this Iron Spider, it's a cool figure, but it didn't have the arms, and everybody was like, oh, because of spoilers. And it's like, okay, so now like over a year later, they're gonna go ahead and release it with arms. And then with this figure, it came out, had a bunch of cool accessories, and was a nice figure, but it didn't come with the unmasked head sculpt. So then they put out another version that came along with Iron Man in a 2-pack with an unmasked head sculpt, and it just, I don't know, that kind of stuff that they do is goofy sometimes, and it's a little frustrating. You would think that they'd want to go all out with Spider-Man because he's the greatest superhero in the world. That's undeniable, and that's just a fact. So the fact that Hasbro doesn't go all out when it comes to Spider-Man, it kind of baffles me. But anyways, I do like this figure, and I'm looking forward to seeing more versions. I do wish that it had a better paint application and more accessories. I think that would have made this figure more enjoyable. But as is, I'm okay with it for now. I'm having fun messing around with it, so it's cool. But anyways, I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And thank you very much. Peace.